What's up everybody, it's Man of Low Moral Fiber here, my name's Luke, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Borderlands the Pre-Sequel. As we all know, Borderlands the Pre-Sequel is scheduled to release on October the 14th on the PC, the Xbox 360, and the PlayStation 3. In America at least. I think in Europe and other regions it releases about 3 days after that. If you look around though, there are quite a few people on the internet that are taking objection to the game not being released on the current generation consoles, the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. They offer up a myriad of reasons why they think the game should come to these newer consoles. Now I'm going to be talking about what I think is going to happen with this whole situation, so everyone buckle up because what I'm about to say is purely speculation. None of this is confirmed. If you don't want to hear my theories about the game's future, go ahead and click away. If you do, put on your tinfoil hat and listen up. The main reason people suggest as incentive for releasing the game on the newer consoles is potential sales. It is my theory that potential sales is the exact reason why the game will not be made available this year on the newer consoles. Borderlands the Pre-Sequel, though, will eventually release on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 in my opinion. Just not until a year or so passes to allow them to sell as many copies on the PS3 and Xbox 360 as they can. It is obviously in 2K's best interest to sell as many copies of the game as possible, by whatever means possible. So if they are able to trick people into buying the game multiple times and buying the DLC multiple times, they stand to make a lot more money, and that is probably what they will do. As several re-releases have already proven, console gamers are more than willing to buy the same game twice. Once on their older console, and once again on their less antiquated console. This can easily be seen with games like Tomb Raider. Disappointed with the performance of the game on their older consoles, the Xbox 360 or PS3, they repurchased the game again at full price on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. This allows developers to double dip with minimal effort into your wallet. And I think that's a very bad practice for the gaming industry as a whole. Obviously it works very well for certain developers though. Why wouldn't 2K want to take advantage of such an opportunity? Especially since waiting a few months to release it on the new consoles isn't going to really ruin their chance to sell well, considering these consoles have very small libraries currently. Obviously Borderlands 2 runs at 480p on the 360 and PS3. It has no field of view slider, and even at the very start of the game, the PS3 is incapable of maintaining 30 frames per second, even in single player. The 360 can do 30 FPS for a little while, however, once you begin to get to higher levels, the calculations take more processing power and memory, and it begins to take a toll on the system, affecting the frame rate. If you don't believe me, go ahead and try to fight Hyperius at level 30, and then try fighting him again at Overpower level 8. You'll definitely notice that at Overpower level 8, the console chugged along and struggled a lot more. Obviously, if you play 4 or even 2-player co-op, you'll also notice severe performance drops. In fact, it's fairly easy to crash the consoles by simply throwing a bunch of Stormfront grenades in co-op play, among the many other methods that will indeed crash the game. Thus, it would be very understandable that those who have purchased it on the old consoles but also have the new consoles would want to upgrade if the option was available. It does seem, however, like a direct tax on the stupid, simply selling an intentionally broken product or inferior product with the intention of selling a semi-functional superior product later. Again, to the same people double dipping into their wallet. What's even more appalling is that the game, if it is to be released on the PS4 and Xbox One, would still be vastly inferior to the PC version. The PC version allows for more top-end performance if you want it, and a more customizable experience regardless of how powerful one's PC is. For example, I do not care for the heavy outlines in Borderlands 2, and on PC I'm able to disable those, giving me a more smooth, aesthetic look. Some people really like the PhysX in the PC version of Borderlands 2. If you haven't noticed, all the pre-sequel promotional footage is making heavy use of the PhysX feature. Obviously, I'm also a big fan of the field of view sliders. Now, even on next-gen consoles, I do believe that PhysX would be entirely unavailable due to the machines being nothing more than an AMD mobile APU. There's no promotional footage of the console versions being shown for a reason. I'd be willing to bet that should the PS4 version of Borderlands the Pre-Sequel ever be released, it would actually fail to hit 1080p and 60 FPS, which I believe to be the golden standard to be expected from a AAA flagship title in 2014 and beyond. I believe this to be the golden standard because most people have a 1080p and 60Hz television. They did not buy their 1080p 60Hz television to get a less, graphically intense experience than that from their games. Otherwise, they would have just bought a 720p 30Hz television, for example. It would have been a lot cheaper. Now, obviously, this standard of 1080p 60Hz is beginning to look like a pipe dream for the new consoles. Obviously, some games are managing to achieve this standard, but more detailed and intricate games, even first-party games like Killzone and Infamous, and definitely third-party games like Watch Dogs, are failing to reach this standard. My recommendation is to avoid buying the game twice at all cost. If you know you aren't going to be satisfied with the 360 or PS3 versions, do not buy them. Either buy it on PC or wait till the newer console versions are, again in my opinion, inevitably released. And be ready to stomach a next-gen 720 to 900p 30 FPS experience if you do. If you think you are capable of being satisfied with a 480p sub 30 frames per second experience, go ahead and buy it on the older consoles. But keep in mind that Borderlands 2 is running on the same engine as Borderlands the Pre-Sequel is going to be running on. And Borderlands 2 did not perform well on the Xbox 360 or PS3, so it's safe to assume that Borderlands the Pre-Sequel will also perform very poorly. Now, this all may sound very elitist, pretentious, arrogant, speculative, etc., but I truly just want people to get the best version of the game that they can. Personally, I believe that to be on PC, and that fact is, or that, opinion, is more or less inarguable. However unfortunate though, PC gaming is not for everyone. That aside, I think it is a very greedy business practice when companies try to scam people into buying multiple versions of their game just to get it working on their preferred platform. For this reason, I'd prefer them not to release the Xbox One or PS4 versions of the game at all, but I'd wager that is already in their plan to do eventually. That said, if I were in their position, I'd find it hard not to release the game on the new consoles just to tax the console players. They've proven willing to pay an online subscription fee, pay more for games, and even buy the same game twice. In some cases, they're actually excited even to buy the same game again. It would be hard to leave that free money on the table. So what do you think? Are all my theories harebrained? Do you agree with any of them? Do you think the game will eventually make its way to the PS4 and Xbox One? Are they purposely delaying the release of this game on the newer consoles in an attempt to double-dip tax the peasants? Let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to respond to you guys. I do thank you very much for watching. If you haven't yet, please take the time to subscribe. Otherwise, I hope to catch you next time. Bye, guys.